When a righteous man does turn from his righteousness and commit iniquity, and lay a stumbling block before him, and I lay a stumbling block before him, he shall die. Because you have not given him warning, he shall die in his sin. And his righteousness which he has done shall not be remembered, but his blood will I require at your hand. Nevertheless, if you warn the righteous man, and the righteous sin not, and he does not sin, he shall surely live. Because he is warned, also you have delivered your soul. Right? That speaks clearly, right? Let me read from Galatians as well. Galatians chapter 1 verse 10. It says, for do I now persuade men or allure? Or do I seek to please men? For if I yet please men, I should not be the servant of Messiah. Right? In other words, it would not be good for me to keep these things away from you, especially if I consider myself a minister of Messiah. And even you too, the leaders of this nation, how would you like it if all these things came to pass? Right? Came to pass and you guys ended up getting into trouble, right? With the people who have plans against you, right? And then I come out and say, you know, I had actually heard about all these things, but I didn't tell you. How would it make you, how would that even look on me? As a supposed, right? To you, right? To you as a supposed man of allure, how would it be fitting for me to not tell you what you need to hear? It wouldn't. It would not. All right? So I'm saying these things because as people know, as people seem to know in Zimbabwe, you, the leaders of this nation, are very quick to anger, right? Very quick to anger. So I have another passage also in regards to do with that. It's James chapter 1 from verse 19 to 21. It says, wherefore, my beloved brethren, let every man be swift to hear, slow to speak, slow to wrath. For the wrath of man works not the righteousness of allure. Wherefore, lay apart all filthiness and superfluity of naughtiness, and receive with meekness the engrafted word, which is able to save your souls. Right? So I would say find it in your hearts to not be quick to anger, but to ponder on these messages and digest them. Surely, if you ponder these messages with a sober mind, you will see that an evil has been spoken to you, and the messages are actually meant to save you. I have been saying for years, even on these platforms, right, that the Almighty wants you to be part of the new Zimbabwe. That the Almighty hasn't had a desire to condemn you, but to save you, which is exactly the intention that He has with all of mankind, right? So these are things that I've been saying, and I've been sent to warn you, all leaders of Zimbabwe, especially you, ZANU PF. Okay. So, in regards to the messengers of the Almighty, who He has stirred up to give you messages, you will be wise to be like Ramses, the Pharaoh Ramses, right? In the one from the story of Joseph in the Bible. You'll be wise to be like Ramses and ask what you should do instead of shooting the messengers. Like I've said, the short answer as to what you should do is to get right with the Almighty and do what you need to do, considering the positions you've been given of power and influence, which is to love the Zimbabwean people, do deeds that help the Zimbabwean people, make decisions that help the Zimbabwean people. So that means care about truth, love, and justice. Yeah, I think I'll make this video in parts because there's a part of this message that I need to address to the Zimbabwean people and also to the people who have been stirred, who have plans against you, the leaders of Zimbabwe. There's some things I need to say to them. All right. Matter of fact, let me try to say them now. Perhaps I'll just divide this one video into many parts. All right. So I'll start with the group that has plans against the leadership of this nation. Right, and before I even go there, to you, the leaders of Zimbabwe, it is not the Zimbabwean people that you need to worry about. By now, I'm sure it is clear to you that the Zimbabwean people are pretty defenseless against you, right? The people I'm speaking about are not from here. I haven't even seen their faces or been told who they are, right? So, to those people who have plans against the leadership of this nation, whose exact faces, I don't even know. Let's say you prosper with your plans. Do not be deceived that it is an opportunity to oppress the people further. Zimbabwe is a nation that Master Yahusha wants to save and has many plans for. Do not think you can overturn his plans. So I encourage you to get with the program that he has been using his children to announce. All right? And then you, the Zimbabwean people, right? Yeah, you, the Zimbabwean people. The people whose exact identity has not been revealed to me, who have plans against the leadership of this nation, are not necessarily people who all love you. Perhaps there may be one or two, perhaps some, who care for you to some extent. Right? So don't celebrate seeing them as heroes when you hear these words, as your heroes, as they're the one, as if they're supposed to occupy the space of hero in your hearts. I've been saying it for years that what the Almighty has been doing in Zimbabwe is to prove that He is the only mighty one, that He is the only one to call on for salvation and for wellness, right? So don't start making more idols for yourselves, right? Pray for your country that evils against you don't prosper. 1 Timothy 2 says, pray for your leaders that you live peaceable lives. Okay, so that is my message. I hope and pray it is received well by whom is meant to receive it well. Zimbabwe, let me tell you something right now. The people of Zimbabwe, there are many of you who believe that because of the grievances that you have for leadership, it is justified for you to take up arms and consider violence, and even to insult them vulgarly. That is not the way. The Almighty is not a respecter of persons, and hypocrisy He definitely hates. Don't you ever think about arming yourself don't you ever think about a violent response to sort out your grievances. There is no solution in warring with your fellow countrymen. As a matter of fact, Zimbabwe has enemies who are not in Zimbabwe, who will easily and readily take advantage of such a situation. I said it before in previous videos, the type of warfare that people have been waging is not the one. It's spiritual warfare that people should be waging. Right? Spiritual warfare involves patience and long suffering. Right? And you need to understand that if there are people you consider as enemies in the government, we are also actually instructed to love our enemies. So, this is my message to you people of Zimbabwe. I've said it before. My name is Kurai Dube. I've said it before that YAHUAH has great plans for this nation. Good plans. Right? We should not be divided in regards to the truth. That is. In regards to the truth, which is Yahusha the Messiah and His Word. Right? And the Word. The Scriptures. What I'm saying here is truth is found in the Scriptures. But the truth is Yahusha Messiah.